Good afternoon, everyone. It's Lynn here, the cosplayer from Seattle, Washington, inside my bedroom today, which you guys have currently seen more than anywhere else because I've been working from home for the past 3 months. So it's really hot in here today. I chose to wear the wrong shirt. I live in Washington and it's cloudy and it feels like it's 80 degrees right now. We get these really weird summer months where it'll be like freezing cold and under 60 degrees one day, and then the next day it's like really hot and muggy, even though it looks exactly the same outside. So when I get dressed in the morning, I end up changing halfway through the day anyways. It's so frustrating. So, okay, guys, today is a two-part video. The first part is I'm going to be talking about a current cosplay costume that I've been working on. If you've been watching my videos, you're probably thinking, what the heck? You literally just had a video a few weeks ago saying you were not going to be working on anything. So I'm going to talk about my mindset change and why I ended up working on something. And then the second part of this video is something that I have never done before, and it's actually a rant. I'm going to be ranting about a very specific makeup company that I absolutely love, but just dealt with a really difficult situation. And I think it's just fair that we talk about when companies do something that's not good for people that are buying their products and how they should kind of know better, because this is something that has not only happened with makeup, but it's happened with other things that I've tried to buy. And I'm sure many of you guys out there have probably dealt with the same situation. Who knows, even maybe you guys dealt with this exact same situation 2 or 3 days ago when it happened. Okay, so first part of this video, I'm going to be talking about how I have been working on Elderwood Ahri from League of Legends. Now, this is a costume that I decided to do very randomly. It was not planned. It was not like I had a sparkle in my eye and I kind of thought about it and I was just waiting till the right moment. It was kind of like, I really hate life in quarantine right now. I'm really bored. I'm a creative person and I know I need to stay at home and relax and get my mental health under control, but I feel like I'm in a good enough place right now that I need to create. I need to do something with my hands and like make stuff. And I know many cosplayers out there have the same mindset as me, where we always just need to be like doing something. Like, we're busy people. We work best when we have projects to work on, when we have something to work towards. And I decided that because I don't have any upcoming conventions anytime soon, like I don't even know if there's going to be any until 2021, like next year now, I decided to work on a project that was something I had never really done before, that I knew was going to be hard. It was going to be a learning curve for me. And so that's when I decided to work on Elderwood Ahri. Now, when I first saw the artwork for this costume, I instantly fell in love. I love natural material. I love the outdoors. I love kind of like fairy-esque, just like magical, mystical type costumes. I always love them. I think they look so cool. I am a person that's been to Ren Fair for many, many years because I love to dress up as a fairy. I think it's super fun and like it's fun to run around outside like with fairy wings. So when I saw Elderwood Ahri, I was like, ooh, I really like this. I like the colors in it. I like how it looks kind of magical. I like how there's a lot of textures going on in it. It's not just like a flat costume. There's a lot of layers. There's textures. There's sparkle. Like, there's a lot of stuff. And that's when I started to look around online for a costume that I could buy. And it's really funny because my first thought was, I'm going to buy this online. And I looked everywhere. I even looked at the really expensive like custom cosplay costumes people were making. And it was funny because every time I saw a picture, I was like, that's not the right color, that's not the right style, that's not the right length, I would have done it differently, oh, I don't like that hair color. And then suddenly I had this weird like thought pop into my head of, I could do this better. I could totally do this. I can learn these skills. And so I started to watch a lot of YouTube where I was watching tutorials about how to work with EVA foam, specifically Kamui Cosplay. And she is one of my very favorite cosplay creators because she has an awesome personality. She does a lot of humor and joking and talking about, hey, if you mess up, that's okay. It's part of the learning curve. Like, none of us are perfect. And this is what happens if you mess up. This is what it will look like. She also is just a very creative brain type. I can tell that she enjoys creating. And I really like that about watching her materials. They're easy to follow along with, and you just kind of get that sense of she's passionate about it, which makes me want to be passionate about it too. So I bought all of my materials online, EVA foam, paints, things that I needed, and then I went to Home Depot with my mask on and like staying 6 feet away from everyone else, and had to wait in line outside to go in the store, you know, the whole story. And I got my first heat gun, and I already had a Dremel at home, so I bought Dremel heads and like just all this stuff. I have an entire box that is just stuffed to the brim right now in my apartment of all the tools that I have been using. And it's kind of scary from a cosplayer's point of view when you're working with tools for the first time. Like, I got a soldering tool, and I decided I was going to solder the EVA foam to create the kind of texture that I want, because a lot of her costume has wood grain texture, so you kind of want it to look a little bit rough and like kind of has little swirly patterns in it and stuff. And it's scary because you turn this tool on, it's really hot, you're like, oh my god, I'm gonna make the first mark. I did practice a lot on just little pieces of EVA foam to kind of get the feel for it and like how hot my tool had to be and how fast I had to move. But it felt really empowering too, because I felt like I was learning a new skill that I could utilize in the future. Now, my costume right now is kind of in a state of disarray. It's actually out in my living room. I have been working on it on my little mannequin sewing body. And what I thought I would show you guys today is the one thing that is finished. And this is something that has given me the absolute most trouble out of anything in this costume, which is the wig. Now, I am so proud of this because I don't do a lot of wig work, and this was a struggle for me. So the Elderwood Ahri wig, and I'm sorry guys that the lighting in here is just super horrific, but I made the headpiece out of foam. We have these nice little flowers that are actually silk flowers I bought online, and then I altered them to look more like the picture. I am one of those people that if the splash art looks one way, if the flowers have little yellow parts, they're gonna have little yellow parts in my wig. The back of it, I did something really fun, and I actually added these are little twinkle sparkle fairy lights that are purple, and I guess it's a little hard to see because we're in front of my window right now, but it's really cool. My spouse commented that in the wig it looks like fireflies, which was perfect. That is exactly what I was going for, like magical fireflies. This is actually a fishtail braid. I really like to do braiding and stuff. And then this is just some leather braided material. I tried to make it look as similar to the pictures as I could. We have the little hair clip in her bun that has those. And then we just turn to the side. Ignore the battery pack sticking out. I took it out so I could show it off to you guys, like the wig all turned on. And her wig here, a little bit of the styling has come undone because I've been taking it like on and off this wig head to move it around. She needs some hairspray and a little bit of comb work, but you can kind of see what we're working with. And I know the lighting in here is really bad, so I hope you guys can see this ombre color because I want to talk to you guys about this wig right here that will soon be on my head and all the trouble I had to do in order to create this Elderwood Ahri wig. Okay, so the first thing about this wig, this is a very cheap wig that I got off Amazon, and I got it in the closest color I could find to her hair color, which is a whole nother story we're going to talk about as well. The original color of this wig was a bright pink, and now it has been dyed to a violet magenta all the way down to navy blue at the bottom so that it perfectly matches the splash art. Okay, so the first part of this wig that I worked on was sewing in wefts. So when I originally got the wig, the one thing I realized was, oh my gosh, her braid is so thick and like luxurious. And the original wig that I got, I couldn't do it. I could not get the braid to look thick enough. So what I ended up doing was just going online and buying a second wig and then removing the wefts of that wig and sewing them into this one. So the way you do it is you lift up each layer, you hand sew wefts in, you let the layer down, you do that to the next layer over and over and over. I also knew that because of how the bangs like lay in the front here, and she has the little side portions that come out and sit on your collarbones when you wear it, it was just going to be problematic if you didn't have enough hair. So that took me a good 3 or 4 days to do, watching Gilmore Girls, sewing wefts into a wig, poking myself in the finger. And then came the fun part, which was dyeing the wig, which I thought was going to be so easy, and the fact that it was so difficult just really busted my butt. So I knew getting the wig, I was going to have to dye it because it was not the right color. It was this very bright pink color, and in the artwork, Ahri has very, very specific violet pink. I don't even know how to describe it. It's not purple. It's not magenta. It's not red. It's not pink. It's like this weird, I don't even know what you would call this, almost like a neon purple pink or something like that. So the first thing that I did in order to create this wig, and I'm gonna just set the wig down because I know myself, I'm totally gonna drop it and break it. The first thing that I did in order to do the wig was I went online and got Polymore Rit dye. Now Polymore is a very specific Rit dye that you use to dye synthetic materials. So if you have a synthetic wig, you can use this dye in order to dye your wig without it having the dye come off and get in your clothes or your skin or your face or anything. It's a permanent dye. Well, one of the dyes that I was sent, they didn't send me actual Polymore. It said in the picture it was Polymore, and then when I went to go dye it, and I realized that it was only soaking up one dye. So I had a red and a purple, and I mixed them together in the pot to create this kind of pinkish purpley color that was going to go over the top. And I kept dipping it and thinking, why is this only picking up red and it's not picking up purple? Because the purple was regular Rit dye. So every time I would wash it, it would wash all the purple out and there's only red left behind. So it made this bright pink into a deeper pink and then was driving me nuts. So the second time I decided to do this wig, I'd heard about this thing called alcohol ink dyeing it. So you can get alcohol ink in little glass jars, and they're used with droppers typically, but what you can do is put them in a spray bottle with rubbing alcohol. You can spray it on synthetic hair and it will help dye the synthetic materials. And when I tried to do that, it was not only extremely scary because alcohol dye, if it gets into anything synthetic, your rug on your floor, your couch, your pants, your socks, it immediately will stain it and it's impossible to get out. So it's very nerve-wracking, like when you're doing it. I had it on my porch, I had the wig held over a bucket and I was like trying to do it and like comb it through. And finally, after I got it done and went to rinse it out, it would not stick. It barely made any color in the wig. And I just thought to myself, oh my gosh, this is so hard. What am I doing? Because this, keep in mind, this was like day 5 of me working on this wig probably. So the next thing I decided to do was working with acrylic paint and water. And I had watched many YouTubers do it where they take acrylic paint and water and they spray it onto the hair and comb it through, and it creates this really, really lovely color. However, I did not think about the fact that acrylic dye is water-based. So if something is water-based and then you wash it out with water, guess what? That's coming right out. So as soon as I went to wash the wig, it just all washed out. And none of it stayed. So then I went back. So this is take 4 on this wig, day 6 of working on this wig. And I finally go online and just rebuy Polymore dye in violet and navy blue, like the deepest, most vibrant colors I could find. And when I got the jars, I triple checked to make sure it definitely was synthetic dye this time. So don't just trust, like, if you buy synthetic dye that that's what you got. Make sure you read the label on the bottles and read the back of them just to make sure. So the first thing I did was totally just dip the entire wig in to get it that violet color. So again, it used to be bright purple. So I dipped the entire thing in to get the violet-ness over the pink. And then the second thing I did was slowly dipping it in to get that ombre to the dark, dark purple. And it's a little hard to see in this lighting. I would say the purple starts right about here. It starts to get darker and darker and darker. Little bit, you can kind of see it on the little side pieces here as well. It's like ombreed in. I just think it ended up looking so nice. Like, I was so scared. I had actually told myself mentally, like, okay, if this does not work on the 4th try, we are throwing this wig away and I'm just gonna commission someone to make me one, because I was just so done with it. So luckily it worked and we were okay. We got it done. Guys, I made a wig. I never do wigs. And now I have learned I hate doing wigs, and I'm not going to do any wig that I have to very specifically color next time. It's only blonde, black, and brown from here on out, or one specific color that I can buy and trim. Okay, so the next time I do a video, I will show you guys some teasers of the Elderwood Ahri costume once it's finished, so you can see the skirt and the top and the little bracers and the little leg pieces, like everything together, so you guys can see what it looks like. I'm really, really happy with the way it's turning out. I decided to add a lot of textures. I decided to add a lot of colors, being very, very specific to the splash art. Again, that's Milo, my cat, if you guys want to say hi. He gets lonely, so he has to come in here and sit with us when I talk. Okay, part 2 of this video. Let's start in on this rant. And it pains me to have to do this rant because this is a company that I love very, very much. I am a huge fan of makeup. I actually went to beauty school, which is a story for another time, and I promise you guys I really do want to do that story time because it's extremely interesting, and you're probably wondering, wait a second, you don't work in the beauty industry, and there's a reason for that. But I have been a big fan of makeup for a very long time, and ColourPop is a brand that I have bought from many times before. I trust them. I really, really love their choice of colors and sparkle and shimmer. You can buy it at Ulta, and it's a brand that I like to go to Ulta and just like try a bunch on my hand to see like what new colors have come out. I have a lot of their products. I think I have like eyeliners by them and lip colors and palettes and just a lot of their stuff. One of the things that I really love is the fact that their products are on the cheaper end of the spectrum, with many products being under $10 and still being extremely pigmented and long lasting. That is a very, very big thing for many cosplay people or convention goers, is your cosplay makeup has to actually last an entire day. If it looks super good the first hour that you're there and then 3 hours later it's melting off your face, it doesn't matter how much it costs. Not worth your time. But ColourPop, on the other hand, has been really awesome for having long-lasting makeup. Now, their makeup quality is not what I am ranting about today. Quality is awesome. What I'm going to be ranting about today is business practice. So, one of the things that ColourPop does every once in a while is they do collabs, and they do collaborations with either influencers, certain brands, especially like Disney brands. I think they have like a Frozen collab that they have been doing. So they have like an Anna and Elsa palette that you can buy, or like colors based on the movie. And it's just kind of fun. Like if you're a fan of an influencer and you want to see like what they've collabed to make, it's just fun to be able to, you know, buy a palette and think, hey, my influencer that I watch or YouTuber, they use these colors all the time, so I can be just like them, I guess. Or if it's, you know, just a palette that you're interested in trying out, they make them very affordable. Typically the collab palettes are around $20, so for a pretty big palette, that's pretty good. However, there is a story that I have to tell you guys that happened to me very recently, and I'm gonna have to go back to March to explain why I'm so upset about it. So back in March, it was released that they would be collaborating with the official Sailor Moon company of Japan to release very limited edition Sailor Moon makeup products, including glitters, eyeshadow palettes, lip colors, lip glosses, just a lot of like basic stuff, but with Sailor Moon on there and their very beautiful packaging and really fun colors that are just kind of like 90s magical girl dreamy colors. So of course, every Sailor Moon fan was waiting to get their hands on this, and it was going to be so awesome. Many YouTube influencers were sent boxes of the Sailor Moon collection in order to review them on YouTube to kind of get the mass population hyped up for this release. And I was one of those people. I went on YouTube, I watched a bunch of videos. I was like, oh my God, I want these so bad. The packaging is adorable, beautiful pink. They have a lot of colors that are just like named after Luna the cat, or Sailor Moon, or Moonlight, or Daylight. Like if you're a Sailor Moon fan like I am, and let me just show you guys here really quick. So there is no question in your mind of my love for Sailor Moon. I actually bought this on AliExpress, so it's kind of janky, but I have a lot of Sailor Moon influence in my life. I wish I could show you guys. I have this very cute Sailor Moon art print on my wall. It's actually Sailor Moon in tuxedo mask standing outside of Tokyo Tower under the moonlight, and it's very dreamy and like glittery. It's one of my very favorite prints that I ever bought on Etsy. And I have Sailor Moon t-shirts and I have Sailor Moon stickers. Like, I am a Sailor Moon fangirl. Let's be honest here. I grew up in the 90s. I was an anime nerd before I knew what anime was because I love Sailor Moon. But let me get on to the story. So, finding out that this was going to be released, I was super excited. But then me being stupid, I instantly forgot it when I was thinking about other things. By the time I remembered and went back to buy the products, they were all sold out, which is kind of like, if a collaboration is really popular, that's just what's going to happen. However, you could sign up for an email wait list where when things would be put back online or in stores to buy, you could go on there, you get like an email saying like, hey, it's back, and you can go and buy it. So earlier this week, I was working from home and I was on my computer in the morning. So I'm working on my work computer and I have my personal computer also next to me because I like to multitask and listen to podcasts like while I work. And I get an email from ColourPop saying it's back. And I instantly knew in that moment they were talking about Sailor Moon. And I went into the email and I was practically shaking. I was so excited. And so I immediately went to the website and filled up my cart with everything that I wanted to buy. There were very specific products that I wanted to get. And so it took me about 1 minute to add everything into my cart and start to check out. Now, when you're checking out from ColourPop, you have to verify the shipping address. Even if you've shopped with them before, it's just like a step in their checkout process. So I added everything to my cart, went to shipping, verified it. And when I went to go to the next page to verify my payment method, instantly I had a little pop-up saying this item is out of stock. And unfortunately, it was the palette, the eyeshadow palette. And I was really disappointed, but I thought, that's really strange that it happened that quick, but who knows? Maybe someone was on there buying 500 palettes at a time. I don't know. So you have to go back when that happened. So I had to verify my shipping address again and then try to recheck out again. And then the same thing happened for a second time saying this item's out of stock, except now it was a lip color. So I was like, what is going on? There is no way that people could buy out an entire collection of items this fast. Like, it was so quick. Like, I was clicking as fast as I could, so I have no clue how anyone else could have done it quicker, much less thousands of people doing it quicker than I was. So I just kept doing that over and over, trying to purchase items, and every time I tried to purchase them, it would go out of stock until there was literally nothing left in my basket. And I thought, okay, well, maybe the site is having an issue. I'll just refresh the website, relog back in. And that's when this website started glitching out. It was saying things were in stock when they weren't because you try to add it to your cart and it wouldn't let you add it. It was a huge disaster. And I got so upset and so angry because I knew what was going on. For one, it was people mass buying things. And for two, it was probably robots buying things as well. So many people that buy concert tickets know about the robots that are like set up to buy mass amounts of concert tickets. So like, let's say My Chemical Romance is coming to Seattle and they only have however many tickets. Robots, there will be a program that is programmed to go into Ticketmaster or whatever and purchase 2,000 or 3,000 tickets at once, which causes every regular person trying to buy tickets, it's impossible for them to get one because these robots are buying them automatically and they can go faster. And then the robots go and turn around and resell them on third-party websites for 2, 3, 4 times the asking price. It's really unethical practice. It is horrible. And for the average person that is trying to buy something, it's really frustrating. Now, with ColourPop, I had a feeling this might happen with the Sailor Moon collab because I had seen it being sold on third-party websites for 3 or 4 times as much. So again, the Sailor Moon eyeshadow palette, which was selling for $20 on ColourPop, was selling on other websites for between $60 to $100 for that palette. And again, because it's limited edition, it's not people buying it that don't want to use it. It's people that are purchasing 500 palettes at once who, again, are turning around to resell them to make a profit, which is extremely unethical and is not okay at all, especially for the average consumer like myself who loves a company and wants to support them. This kind of practice and letting this happen on their side makes me not want to buy their products because it makes me frustrated that the company cares more about money than it does for its average buyer who actually supports the company. So after this happened, I was really frustrated. I was pissed off. I was angry. I wanted to write a letter to ColourPop, but then I thought, you know what? I'm just going to do a YouTube video because I bet other people out there have experienced the same thing as me. And I want you guys to understand that I do not think this is okay at all, especially because the fact that ColourPop has enough palettes and collections to be able to send them to influencers. So why don't they have enough to sell them to the people who are on wait lists for months in order to buy them? Like, that doesn't really seem right to me that these influencers who probably use the eyeshadow palette on camera to get sponsored by ColourPop or get paid by them are going to go ahead and turn around and probably just throw out that palette because they don't really care about it. It'll end up with the other hundreds of palettes that they've had before. But the average person like myself and many of you guys out there who may be very large Sailor Moon fans, we can't even get our hands on one to buy it because they get sold out immediately. So I think this is something that ColourPop and other very large brands need to take into account, that if you're releasing a limited amount of something, to make sure that limited amount is a realistic amount, that it's not something that could get bought out within 3 minutes, because then you're going to have very angry consumers. And also to get rid of that practice of letting people purchase mass amounts of things. So making it so that if you try to add more than 1 or 2 to your cart, it won't let you check out, or to have you have to go through verification systems so that robot programs cannot buy mass amounts of things. Again, that's what I'm guessing was going on because it's the only thing I can possibly think of, unless hundreds of thousands of people all were clicking on the same buttons at the same time and just so happened that they all bought it, I guess, and I was not able to buy anything. So if you guys were able to actually purchase the Sailor Moon palette or collection, let me know. Maybe it was something weird was going on in just, you know, my computer world. Maybe it was something on the ColourPop's website. I haven't tried to go on there since then. I tried to go on later that same day to see if maybe they did a slow release where they would release however many hundreds of products in the morning, afternoon, and evening, which unfortunately is not what they did. So anyways, thanks you guys for watching this video, seeing my updates on the costume, listening to my rant, and I hope I will see you guys back here again. Have a good day, guys, and have fun and stay safe out there.